So there's no debate that when it comes to cloud contact center software, that AI automation can or has the potential to create huge benefits for your organization. And it's a great experience for the customer, a great experience for the organization. I mean, if you think about it, customers can get their questions answered quickly without ever having to talk to anybody through website chat, through email, through text messaging, through phone calls, every which way. And so the company's not having to pay additional employees to serve customers even faster. Customers get the information they want even faster. So it just makes a lot of sense, right? Unless the AI is not very good in creating a lot of customer frustration. We've all experienced that as customers ourselves, right? Call a company and the call center software that they have is just making you march through all these questions, and it's just more frustrating. All you want to do is talk to a person because their system just isn't very good. So how do you avoid that? How do you avoid the frustration that AI automation can cause? Well, there's 3 things I want to talk about in this video that will help you avoid choosing an AI that will cause more frustration than good. But first, before I get there, if you like my recommendation on the best cloud contact center vendors your company should be quoting, reach out, send me an email, give me a call. It's the reason why I do these videos. I've been a broker for over 20 years in this industry. I know the industry inside and out, and based on a few questions, I can make sure your company is quoting the best call center software vendors right away. It will save you all kinds of time and help you make a lot better decisions. So reach out, send me an email, give me a call. I'd love to help. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my weekly or sometimes multiple videos per week. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video, ask further questions, let me know about other videos you'd like to see. Okay, so how do you reduce the amount of customer frustration when it comes to AI automation? Well, the first piece of advice I would say is just sit down with your team, your call center manager or maybe customer service reps or salespeople, and really talk about the customer journey. Talk about things like where are customers typically at when they're reaching out? What methods are they using? Are they typically using phone, or are they using, website chat, or are they using SMS, or are they using email? Think about that, or maybe they're using different methods at different times for different reasons. Think about where they're sitting. Are they at home? Are they at work? Are they driving in a car? Think about their response time. Typically, are they wanting an immediate response, like based on the platform? So if somebody sends you a text, do they expect an immediate response? Or sometimes you respond back and maybe they take a day to get back to you. So things like that, maybe you want to make sure you assign an agent to that SMS text that can stick with that same conversation over multiple days as opposed to just that moment, because maybe the customer takes a long time to get back based on the platform, based on the question they're asking, based on where they're at, like if they're calling from the car, that type of thing. So give a lot of thought to that customer journey. Who is your customer? Where are they sitting when they reach out? What method are they typically using? What's their response time? All that good stuff. Really give that a lot of thought, because that will help you really make sure you're prepping your automation to respond to them in the same way they expect. Let's start again. Okay, so how does your company reduce the amount of customer frustration when it comes to AI automation? Well, the first piece of advice I would give you is to really sit down with your key people within your company that understand your customer journey and really talk about the customer journey, really understand it. Know where a customer's sitting when they typically reach out to you. Are they sitting at home? Are they driving in a car? Are they at work? What method do they typically reach out to you on? Are they reaching out via website chat? Are they reaching out on SMS text messaging? Are they calling typically? Are they sending an email? Think about all those different things and just really try to create a profile of the most typical situations that customers reach out in terms of how they're reaching out, what method they're using to reach out, and then think about taking even a step further of what type of response time do they have when you interact with them on that communication channel. So whether it's text message versus phone call versus email, what type of, if you look back at past conversations, how long are they taking to respond? So really write those things down, collect all that data. That's step number one. Step number two is to organize the responses based on that situation. So for instance, if a customer is typically calling in a stressful situation, you're going to really want to adjust how your agents interact with those people during that point in time. Or if they're at home, if they're multitasking, just in terms of really helping your agent understand the mindset of that person and what type of language they're going to be using going back and forth. Like for instance, if they're texting and they're typically multitasking or driving, are they going to be ready to receive a lot of information like, videos linked up or, quotes sent to them, things like that? Well, no, right? Because they're driving and they're text messaging you. Number one, they shouldn't be using the text message other than hands-free anyway, but something very quick, and maybe you want to lead to another conversation. So just change the conversation based on where the customer's sitting, what method they're using, what the response time typically is. So change the wording of the conversation a little bit based on where the customer's coming to you from. Number three is adjust the conversation timing based on the customer's communication method, like we discussed earlier. So adjust the timing. So maybe don't close out a case on email for like a week or two, depending on how long it's taking customers to go back and forth. So you don't want to close out the case with an agent and a customer like you would on maybe a website chat. It's going to be, hey, you're going to close out that case within an hour. As opposed to an email, you don't want to close out that case for maybe 2 weeks. So really adjust it based on the communication method, your automation. So if you're having somebody automatically, okay, start over. Okay, so how do you reduce the amount of customer frustration when it comes to AI automation in your cloud call center software? So number one, I think a great idea is to sit down and brainstorm with all of your key people in your company that know your customers inside and out. Really brainstorm with them on the customer journey. When the customers reach out to you or you reach out to the customer, where are they located? Are they sitting at home? Are they sitting in an office? Are they typically driving in a car? Are you catching them off guard? Is it on text? Is it on email? Is it on phone call? Like, what are the most typical situations? And then look back at things like, hey, if we reach out on email, how long is it taking them to respond? So look back at the past of going like, when we reach out on phone, they're responding right away. We reach out on text, how long does that conversation typically last? When we reach out on phone, on email, how long does that conversation last? Web chat, how long does it last? So things like that, collect all the data, really look at the customer journey. That will help you set up the automation so much better. And then number 2, adjust the language for your automation based on the communication channel and that situation. So if your automation is the same for website chat than it is email, that's incorrect, right? Because someone who's emailing you is able to absorb a lot more information and read through it, and they're also going to respond at a lot slower pace than somebody on a web chat. So make sure that the conversation, the language that's being used by the automation is correct. Like for instance, if it's on SMS text, it should be responding to the person like a text message would with a real person, right? It's going to be, a small amount of wording, quick back and forth, not sending a ton of information, things like that. So just make sure you're adjusting the language and the responses based on the customer journey and the communication channel being used. Number 3, you want to also adjust the response time. I've mentioned it a couple times. So make sure that with automation, you're not closing out the conversation, too soon or, too late. For instance, if it's automation on a call, maybe you're going to keep that case open until the call's ended. But if it's a conversation taking